The Harlem Hellfighters were fearsome fighters. They never lost a man to capture, and they never lost a foot of ground to the enemy. They were an infantry regiment of the New York National Guard during the time periods of World War I and World War II. Founded in 1913, the 369th Infantry Regiment was made up primarily of African Americans, but also consisted of some Puerto Rican Americans as well. They were also known as the Men of Bronze or the Black Rattlers. The name Harlem Hellfighters was actually given to them by the Germans themselves due to their toughness. Probably one of the most notable stories in the Harlem Hellfighters comes from the soldier nicknamed Black Death in the Argonne Forest of the year of 1918 during World War I. Henry Johnson, a Harlem Hellfighter, was sent to Outpost 20 on the outskirts of the Argonne Forest as a French soldier. All of a sudden, German snipers began firing at them while he and Needham Roberts were restocking their dugout, and he says he heard the snipping and clipping of wire cutters on the outside fence. And he engaged by throwing a grenade at the fence, and once that happened, everything broke loose. Germans poured from all directions, and he took but survived through multiple shots to the side, lip, and head. He eventually jammed his gun by putting an American ammo clip into a French gun. Overwhelmed at this point, he swung the end of his gun at soldiers until it broke in half. The only thing he had left was a knife, but he couldn't see anything at this point due to a smoke grenade, so he ran in the darkness until he found someone. Once he did, he stabbed them until they fell, moved on to the next person over and over as fast as he could. It is said that he held off at least a dozen Germans, and that dozen Germans consisted of the entire raiding party. He had fought off an entire raiding party with his bare hands. He survived through it all, and he came home treated like a hero by the public, but the officials thought otherwise. They did not record his multiple bullet wounds, so he was denied a Purple Heart, and was not given any disability help, so he returned to his job as a Red Cap porter, but he eventually lost it due to his disabilities and injuries. He could not maintain any jobs for very long and ran out of money. He eventually died in 1929 at age 32. Racism was certainly still a thing in this time period, and it was bad enough that the government was racist too. The Harlem Hellfighters were eventually disbanded in the year 1945.
I don't know when, but I do know that we'll meet again some sunny day. So, buddy, keep on smiling through, just like you always do.